Stephen, coming back now, first league game, is there an excitement given what you did, the way you finished up going into the winter break and the additions you've made? Is there an excitement going back into league duty?
Yes, from a personal point of view, I'm really looking forward to seeing the players play against Kilmarnock. It's a fantastic game. They're breathing down our neck. They've done very, very well. I think Steve Clarke's done an amazing job there. So from my point of view, I'm very excited and looking forward to seeing the team play. We should be full of confidence and belief after our last result, and we've put a lot of preparation in the last couple of weeks to get ready for tomorrow. Cowdenbeath wasn't helpful, getting called off, but it is what it is. We had to adapt and play two teams against Helsinki to prepare for tomorrow's game, and it's one we're really looking forward to.
Is the biggest problem for you, or is it a good problem, the fact that you now have extra options and it's how you fit them in and who plays?
Yeah, I mean, you can see quite clearly what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build a very competitive squad, a squad full of quality. We always knew that was going to take time, but I'm really happy with how the squad's evolving and progressing, and I think you can see it's a lot stronger than it has been with the additions of Davis and Defoe, and hopefully we can try and strengthen it a little bit more in the coming weeks before the window shuts.
Have you noticed the level going up in training now with the additions?
That was instant. I think adding a player of Davis's quality into the middle of midfield and bringing in a striker of Jermaine's class, we knew the quality was always going to go up. But what I would say is before they arrived, the team were doing ever so well, and the squad was competing at all levels. So it's down to them two now to come and show what they're worth and prove that them two signings are good ones.
You mentioned Kilmarnock, and they are only a point behind. How good a test is this? I know you've won there in the League Cup already, but how good a test is this?
Yeah, I mean, we've got nothing but respect for Kilmarnock, the team and the players they've got, and also, as I mentioned before, Steve, I've got nothing but admiration for the job he's done at Kilmarnock. But it's one where we go in focused about us and what type of performance we can bring. We're in good form. Obviously the breaks come, but we're really looking forward to the test.
A man who will be joining your team is Jordan Jones. How big a threat will he be against you if he plays?
He'll always be a threat. He's a threat to anyone in the league because of his pace. He's very direct. He's capable of scoring a goal and assisting a goal. So we're well aware of Jordan. But where we stand right now, he's a Kilmarnock player, so he's the enemy, he's a rival, and that's the way we'll treat him.
Do you think he'll be able to prove a point maybe because he's the situation he's in?
No, I don't think he's got anything to prove, but I think from his point of view, he's got to prove to Kilmarnock that he's still focused and he's still going to do a job for them from now till the end of the season. In terms of us, nothing changes. We treat him as an opponent. We treat him with respect. If he's playing, we'll have to wait and see. But no, I think this game's more about Rangers v Kilmarnock rather than one individual.
How's Borna Barisic?
Fine.
Has he been back in training since Sunday?
We haven't trained, it was just a recovery day.
Do you feel that just a short-term knock, that'll be?
He's fine, there's nothing wrong with him.
Okay. In terms of Defoe and Davis, would you expect them to play some part tomorrow and make their debuts for the club?
Yes.
In terms of the pitch, last time you were down there, obviously ended in the bad injury to Jamie. Is that a concern as you prepare for this game in terms of picking guys and thinking about their ability to play in substitutes like that?
No, it's not something that we're worried about or concerned about really. I've already gave my opinion in terms of plastic pitches at elite level of football, and they shouldn't be nowhere to be seen, but I can't change that in 24 hours. It is what it is. But I do know that every single manager at this level doesn't want plastic pitches, but we have to respect the fact that Kilmarnock have got one, and we have to go there and perform. We've been there and done it before. Of course, it cost us Jamie Murphy, which was a huge blow to us, but hopefully tomorrow both sets of players come through healthy after the game, because there's nothing worse than seeing any player suffer that type of injury, because it's the one injury in football that can be very dangerous.
How's Conor Goldson? Is he on the squad?
He won't be available tomorrow. He's not too far away, but he won't be available tomorrow.
Scott, how easy or difficult do you find it to make the transition from grass to a surface like that?
Fairly easy, to be honest. I think I just echo the gaffer's thoughts and the rest of the managers in this league. I don't think these surfaces should be anywhere near top level football, but it is what it is. It's another obstacle. The teams are obviously more tested at playing it more regular than us, but it's another obstacle to overcome, and you need to just go and win the game.
Is there a typical type of blade that you have to wear on that surface? Have you been advised in any quarter what sort of boots are less likely to cause any sort of potential injury there?
No, not so much. I think you just need to go with the experience of the other players, and everybody's different. Everybody, I know players that only wear moulds, even on grass surfaces anyway. So it's one of the things between what you prefer as an individual to that. But obviously, if you wear studs in these artificial surfaces, you're in more danger of doing an injury.
I would see what happened to Jamie. Do you go into this game with a wee bit of trepidation, just knowing that the surface can be like that?
Yeah, I don't think you can. No way. I think if you go into that, you're doing yourself harm and more so the team's harm. So I don't think there's any hesitation into the game. You see these sort of injuries happening in grass football. So it was one of the things. Obviously, a shocker for Jamie and a shocker for us, but. I think that it's more likely to happen in these artificial surfaces, and just echo their thoughts that it shouldn't be anywhere near it.
You obviously enjoyed the last game against Celtic a lot. You spoke about that a couple of times, but is that sort of buzz still there after the sort of the layoff that you've had with the winter break and then Friday night's game being pulled off?
Well, it's the first league game, so it will be. I think obviously after a result like that, you move on fairly quickly. You remember it. You remember that feeling. And challenge that against the feeling we had at Parkhead in the September. So there's obviously still a buzz there, but it's up to us to keep that buzz going, because there's no point in putting all that hard work in and then undoing it and tomorrow night.
How much is Stephen stressed that the standard, the performance that you produced in that game, that has to be the sort of benchmark going forward?
Well, it's been the same message since the 12th of June in our first game. I think obviously everybody maxed out for that for the Celtic game, and rightly so, but it's up to us as players to. Every game should be that big when you play for the size of this club, and every game's huge, and it's another game towards a successful year. So every game should be that.
Stephen, how beneficial did you find the meeting last week with SFA Chief Exec and the Compliance Officer?
Yeah, very very beneficial actually. I thought it was good to get in the room with all the other managers and the powers that be and have an open discussion. Obviously got to respect the privacy of the meeting, but I think it was very very positive, and what I will say is all the managers and the powers that be are trying to improve the game up here, which was very good to see.
Seems to be a consensus sort of growing feeling that VAR, if there's a route to go down, that's the way to go down to try and help the refs.
Well, I think the statistics tell you that VAR certainly helps the officials and the referees get more decisions, more big decisions right. So I think that only suggests that it's common sense to look into VAR and try and introduce it at some point. And I am for one who's in favour of it. But what I would say is, the statistics from the officials are actually excellent when you listen to them come out in the room. They do a very good job, a very difficult job. And I think us managers, sometimes in the heat of the moment have to respect the officials more moving forward, and that's what we'll try and do.
Is that a message that will partially relate to you guys at all?
I think it's easy in hindsight to sit relaxed around the room and look back at some of the things you've said or done yourself from a personal point of view, and it is tough because we're in pressured situations and pressured jobs, and we all want to win so much, but we also have to respect the referees and their livelihoods as well.
Do you personally think, do you think it would help if they came out after the game and spoke?
There was all kinds of stuff that got discussed in the room that obviously has to remain private. The rules and the laws are what they are. We have to respect them at the moment. But no, I think it's a good way at the moment as it is. We've got no problem with it, and as I say, the meeting last week was very positive, and the big thing that come out of it for me is the powers that be are trying to improve things and and help the managers and help the referees to make the game a lot better up here. So decisions, the big decisions, you know, are right more often.
I think you said that earlier, perhaps you might do some more business with it over a week to go. Has there been any kind of concrete interest in any of your players this month, and what's the likelihood of?
No, not concrete, nothing at all, no. In terms of us, I've said before, Matt Polster's very close. That'll depend on a work permit situation. And we've got a goalkeeper in on trial, which I mentioned a couple of days ago in a press conference. Besides that, we're pretty much done.
Last Alfredo question from me for this window, is it just same message as it is to any potential suitors, going nowhere?
Yes, at the moment, in this window, Alfredo won't be going anywhere. But every one of our players has got a price. You know, I'm not naive enough to sit here and say they haven't, but none of my players will be going out the door, certainly in this window. So anyone who's preparing a bid or thinking of a bid will be wasting their time.
Have you been given any indication that that might be the case with him, in terms of that there may be a bid forthcoming for him?
No, I haven't heard nothing, no.
Give us an update on Carlos Payne's situation. Is he rejoined the squad yet?
No.
Is he likely to be back yet in coming weeks? Is there moves in terms of bringing his time here to an end? Is there any discussion had on that?
I don't know.
Any other squad news?
Conor Golson will be missing, as I say. Everyone else is fit and available, ready to go.